been violated in the most intimate of ways. And not everybody chooses to have a rape kit. We do a lot of rape cases, sexual assault cases with David's unit where we don't have, David raise your hand, where we don't have sexual assault kits. And his unit actually does all the sexual assaults that post 2009 that do have kits. And so it is a collection that the Wayne County SAFE, the forensic nurses women will go. We're fortunate in Wayne County to have 5 sites where they can go and get the rape kit done. They're professional, they're excellent, they know their stuff. And it can be anywhere from a 4 to 10 hour exam where they're plucking and potting every orifice of the rape victim's body to try to get evidence: hairs, fibers, saliva, semen. And so it's put together in a kit, collected very carefully. There's a protocol about how it's collected. And what the goal is for a forensic scientist to then take this kit, examine it, and try to find enough genetic material to make a profile. It's entered into the CODIS, the CODIS database, which is a combined, what is it? Thank you, the combined DNA index system. And they enter into CODIS, and they hopefully get a hit. There are 2 types of hits that we generally see. Sometimes the person's DNA will already be in CODIS, so it will give us the exact name of the person that that DNA belongs to. There's other type of hit called a case-to-case association. And what that means is, if there's a sexual assault in Detroit, and the rape kit was done, and a sexual assault that was done in, let's say, Phoenix, and the information from the rape kit was taken from the bed sheets, the semen, and it put into the system, if a profile was developed from that, so 2 profiles put into the system in 2 different states, and they can match. So we know that we have a serial rapist, but we don't know who it is. It's a case-to-case association. And that often gives us a lot of material. So as a result of the work that we did, as Susan said, we've become a national model. They look at our model here in Detroit and Wayne County because of the work that we started doing 10 years ago. We travel, sometimes some of my staff travels to different conferences. We hosted a conference here a couple of years ago, and we teach people our victim notification protocol. So no one else has to start from scratch like we had to do. And so we're very proud of our state of Michigan tracking system now. We said 10 years ago, we said, if you can track a package that you order on Amazon, and it's supposed to be on your doorstep at a certain day and time, the second that it's not there, you can get online and find out where it is. So if you can do that, even if the package is ordered from Australia, we ought to be able to, we said this 10 years ago, you ought to be able to track a package, track a rape kit in one state through the criminal justice system. So several years in, we partnered with Quicken Loans and UPS. How did that happen? Dan Gilbert at Quicken Loans was a big contributor to our effort in getting us going, and he happens to use UPS. And so we said, why reinvent the wheel? Their logistics, they can help us figure this out. And so they did it free to taxpayers, free to Wayne County taxpayers, pro bono. And they developed a protocol, and they developed trackers, scanners for us. So anytime a rape kit was done at Wayne County SAFE, it was scanned with their scanners. When it's picked up by the Detroit Police Department, because it's a Detroit-only project, then that was scanned. When it was taken to the crime lab to be analyzed, it was scanned. When it was picked up from the crime lab after it was analyzed and placed back in Detroit storage, it was scanned. So we didn't lose a single sexual assault kit for the 16 months that we did this protocol. So the state found out about it, and we also said, we would love to have a system, although our system didn't, we would love to have a system where the victim, if he or she, because we had men and children too in this rape kit collection, if he or she was wondering where the rape kit was wondering why they hadn't heard from anybody in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, we wanted to have a system where they could actually have a portal where they would access to the system. But we weren't able to do that with our scanners. So again, what happened is there was some legislation that we worked on that was passed in 2016, I believe. And what happened with that is every time there are kits in storage, they must go to the lab. That's the lab, the state, that's the law. And this is statewide, that's not just Detroit. So anytime a sexual assault kit appears, let's say that the sexual assault happened in Taylor, Ecorse, one of the cities that are represented here, that police department would have to send that kit, pick up that kit from the Wayne County SAFE within 14 days. That police department had another 14 days to get that kit to the lab. The lab had 90 days in which that kit had to be tested. And then they would pick it up again, that particular jurisdiction. As a part of that law that passed, that Governor Schneider signed, and I can't remember the exact year, that he signed, it created a statewide task force. And I was one of the people on the task force. And what that task force did, it looked at every untested kit in the state of Michigan. So every police department in Michigan was inventoried and audited, and they had to report how many kits they had across the state. And then there was a prosecution team from the Attorney General's office that was responsible for prosecuting all these cases and examining and leading investigations of these cases, except for in Wayne County. So again, as another part of that legislation that passed, it developed a statewide tracking system that just went live at the end of last year. It started in Battle Creek in Calhoun County, and every stakeholder in the criminal justice system had a role. The prosecutors had a role. We have a state-based portal. It's computerized to the Michigan State Police. The prosecutors have a portal. The forensic nurses have a portal. The crime lab has a portal. Every police department has a portal. So every time a kit is done in the state of Michigan now, it's logged into the system by Wayne County Safe here in Detroit. And again, this is statewide, or whoever's doing the rape kit collection in other parts of the state. And then when the police pick it up, statewide, they log into that system. When it's taken to the crime lab, it's logged into the system. When it's picked up, it's logged into the system. And the thing that we're the most proud about, and they did take our suggestion, there's a victim portal. So now when there's a rape kit done, and a victim chooses to prosecute, they are given an access code. I don't understand all that, but they're given an access code where they can actually log into the system and see where their kit is. Is it at the lab? Is it with the police department? Is it still with Wayne County Safe? And so now we shouldn't be losing any, and there shouldn't be any untested rape kits ever again in the state of Michigan. So we're very proud that all of that emanated out of the kits that we found in Detroit. I want to end. Many states are copying the same model. I want to end by telling you that now we have over 200 convictions. We have over 800 identified serial rapists. A serial rapist is defined as 2 rapes that occur, at least 2 or more that occur within our project. So we know that we have a serial rapist. So we have over 800 identified serial rapists. Over 50 of them are what I call super serial rapists. They have raped 10 to 15 times within our project, just in Detroit. In one city, in one county, in one state. We also have the testing that's been done and the CODIS work that's been done by the forensic scientists. It has affected 39 other states in the United States. There are only 10 states in the United States of America that haven't been affected by our kits. Why is that? Because CODIS hits to other states for other crimes. Because remember, so our kits and the work that we've done have tentacles in 39 other states. Because remember, the DNA and the genetic profile and the CODIS hits from a rape kit can help solve murders, homicides, carjackings, armed robberies, all types of crimes. So we may have a kit that has a CODIS hit here in Detroit and also in Kansas City. And so again, that's a long update, but I just wanted you to understand the work that's been done by our office and across the state, and many people that helped us do this, just when those kits were found back 10 years ago.